So today we will see what changes we need to consider if we are migrating our application from Simplified UI to Redwood Sales UI. I have majorly covered the application composer changes, so it may help you in determining the scope and also the rework you have to do for Redwood. Also, the document is prepared by me as per my personal understanding and the issues that I faced during the Redwood Sales implementation. So let's get started. So like we can write a groovy expression at the field level for the default value for updatable and required. So that won't work in Redwood. So for that you need to re-implement in VBCS. For the dynamic choice list, if you are having a band variable expressions, like we can write advanced expression using band variable, right? So if you are using that, then that filter will not work. For that, you can implement the same using picker or you can use the service data provider. So we have dynamic layouts in simplified UI like edit layout, create layout, so that won't be available. So that you need to re-implement again in VBCS like create layout, header layout. So don't worry, we will cover everything whatever is written. So it's like a overall picture that I am showing here. So at the layout level also we can have updatable expression, groovy expression we can write, required groovy expression we can do, and hidden also. So that also we need to re-implement. And also field groups. So that also won't work in Redwood. So you need to re-implement that as well. Formula field. Formula field will work whenever you will save the record. So if you want you to render the data immediately, for that you need to use the action chain. So there is on field value action chain. So using that you can render the value immediately. Same for field triggers. Field trigger also will work whenever you will save a record. So if you want your field trigger to work immediately, you want to perform some action, for that also you need to implement the on field value action chain in VBCS. So that both the things you have to re-implement again. Same for field level validation rules. That will also work whenever you will save the record. So there are multiple options are there. You can use the validators, you can use the template, or you can fire a notification. There are a lot of options are there. After create trigger. So after create trigger won't work in the Redwood. So if you want to default your values when you click on the create, for that you need to use the on create action chain in VBCS. That also we have to rework again. Actions and links. For actions, so we can use the object based smart actions. So that also we have to rework again. For links also, we have to rework again using the templates or using the smart actions. Custom objects. So custom objects are not available by default. First of all, you need to make sure you have enabled the adaptive search. Second thing, after enabling the adaptive search, you need to use the extension generator to import the objects into the Redwood. So they won't be available by default. Mashup content. So mashup content, whatever you created in the app composer, that also won't be available here. So in the VBCS, you need to re-implement again. Also, I faced one issue like we were using the old roles. So we were using all the custom roles. So that's why these old roles were not having the function security policies for Redwood. So if you are also facing the same issue, then you have to add all the function security policies to your custom roles. Also, custom if you are using any custom data security policies, then that won't work in the Redwood. So you need to re-implement using the access group. So by using the access group, you can give the access. Sales lead qualification, it's an optional one. If you are using that one, then again you have to re-implement using the custom object and VBC. It will be a custom solution that you can implement. So also you have to create a page entry. So for custom objects, so by default, the navigation won't be available. So you need to create the page entry in Redwood again for VBCS pages. So that's how these things like you have to consider and you can plan your migration accordingly. Like how many pages do you have? How many triggers do you have? And also one more thing, like Redwood is having a lot of benefits. The thing is like if you're having 20 layouts for opportunity, then you can merge all of them into one. Okay. Also, other things will work as it is, like you are having the field level default values, field level updatable checkbox. If there is no expression, then it will work in Redwood also. Object validation rule, object triggers before insert, before update, everything will work. Integrations, your integration will also work. Your workflows, that everything will work here. So overall, if I discuss with you, like what are the changes you might need to make to you for your Redwood implementation. So firstly, you need to enable the offering. After that, you need to create a project. So for creating a power project, then workspace management, you need to create a merge request, branch protection, build protection. So all these things you need to configure. So that all will come under the project administration. So and also you might need to enable the adaptive search for the custom objects, because if you want to use them in the Redwood, you have to make sure the adaptive search is enabled for them. And then you can start your development, VBCS development. If there are any security changes like a Redwood role is required, that also you can add. You might need to create the smart actions like function based, REST based, UI based as per your like implementation. You might have to use all of them. Structure changes for creating the page entry and also production deployment. So in the production deployment, you might need to consider VBCS changes, application composer changes, and other changes. There are some other things also that we were using, so it's like optional to you. You might use or might not. So there are configure activity display, like so you might be configuring the configure activity display for the activity panel, or you might use the roll up for the aggregation. You might be these are the optional things you might be using configure activity display, roll up, customer summary. So these are the optional things you might need to consider. That's how you can plan. So majorly you can focus on these areas that you might need to consider for your implementation. So we will cover all these things in the upcoming videos. So if you face any issue or any problem, you can just reach out to me. Thank you.